I think Meghan is an absolute nightmare of a woman, and I do have my suspicions that he ended up with her out of, some sort of trauma response to the...
And like me, who get tired of helping people and watch them dog you out.
Men and like me who get tired of helping people and watch them dog you out. The signs were hiding in plain sight, and we saw them before anyone else did. While the mainstream media painted Meghan and Tyler Perry as the perfect Hollywood fairy godfather story, we knew something felt off about their relationship. Now, Tyler Perry has completely cut ties. After that explosive $260 million lawsuit and Meghan's deafening silence about her daughter's own godfather is raising questions that go far deeper than anyone imagined. But here's what's really disturbing. Jessica Mulroney just broke her silence after years of loyal friendship, and what she's revealing about Meghan's true character will make you question everything you thought you knew about their inner circle. We called it from day one when Meghan suddenly ghosted Jessica Mulroney after 20 years of friendship. And now we're finally getting the full story of just how calculated and cruel that betrayal really was. Jessica wasn't just some random celebrity friend who got dropped for optics. She was the woman who literally styled Meghan's entire royal transformation, planned her wedding down to the last detail, and had her daughter Ivy serve as a bridesmaid alongside Princess Charlotte. The level of intimacy in their friendship makes Meghan's abandonment even more shocking. Jessica had been Meghan's closest confidant through every major life event, from her divorce from Trevor Engelson to navigating the complexities of royal protocol. She was the one person Meghan trusted with her most vulnerable moments. The woman who knew all her secrets, her insecurities, and her true feelings about the royal family. Whatever happened to Jessica Mulroney, the one-time best friend of Meghan Markle, whose children were given prominent roles in the royal wedding? But when Jessica faced her own crisis in June 2020 after that Instagram controversy with lifestyle blogger Sasha exit, Meghan didn't just fail to support her friend, she actively participated in destroying her. Instead of standing by the woman who had sacrificed her own reputation to defend Meghan countless times, Meghan's team made it clear that Jessica was now a liability who needed to be eliminated from the narrative. The professional devastation that followed was swift and brutal. Jessica lost her television shows, including I Do Redo on CTV and her contributor role on Good Morning America. Brand partnerships evaporated overnight, and her highly anticipated reality show about planning celebrity weddings was cancelled before filming even began. The woman who had built her entire career on her connection to Meghan watched it all disappear because Meghan refused to show even basic human loyalty. What makes this betrayal particularly cruel is how Jessica maintained her dignity throughout the entire ordeal. She never once publicly criticized Meghan, never revealed the private conversations or intimate details she could have used to defend herself, even when her career was being destroyed and her family was facing financial hardship. Jessica stayed silent out of respect for their friendship. Apparently, Meghan at the time was looking for any reason to get rid of her friend. And you can't help but wonder, why? How did this relationship sour so quickly? The most telling part of Jessica's recent comments isn't what she said about Meghan. It's what she didn't say. Her careful words about learning who your real friends are and discovering people's true character during difficult times speak volumes about the pain of being abandoned by someone she considered family. Jessica's grace under pressure only makes Meghan's calculated cruelty look even more heartless by comparison. Recently, Tyler Perry's world came crashing down when actor Derek Dixon filed what might be the most explosive lawsuit in Hollywood history. And the timing couldn't be worse for his relationship with Harry and Meghan. This isn't just another celebrity legal battle. This is a $260 million nuclear bomb that threatens to destroy everything Perry has built over decades of grinding his way to the top of the entertainment industry. Derek Dixon's allegations read like a horror story of systematic exploitation disguised as career mentorship. The actor claims Perry subjected him to escalating and battery starting in 2020, just months after Dixon was cast in Perry's BET series, Ruthless. What makes these allegations particularly damaging is how they allegedly followed a pattern of Perry using his massive power and influence to manipulate vulnerable actors desperate for their big break. The timeline is devastating for Perry's reputation. Dixon says he first met Perry in 2019 at a networking event, where the mogul allegedly showed immediate interest in both his professional potential and personal life. After landing a role on Ruthless, Dixon claims Perry began making increasingly inappropriate advances, using promises of career advancement to justify behavior that crossed every professional boundary imaginable. But here's where the story gets even more explosive. Dixon alleges that Perry's inappropriate behavior escalated during private meetings at Perry's Atlanta compound, the same sprawling estate where Harry and Meghan stayed during their most vulnerable period after leaving royal life. The idea that this alleged pred behavior was happening in the same location where Meghan's children were playing and sleeping adds a deeply disturbing layer to the entire situation. Perry's legal team has come out swinging, calling the lawsuit a scam, and describing Dixon's claims as fabricated attempts to extort money from a successful black entrepreneur. They've painted Dixon as an opportunistic actor whose career failed to take off despite Perry's genuine mentorship, leading him to manufacture these explosive allegations as a get-rich-quick scheme. The text messages themselves are enough to kind of make change your opinion about Tyler Perry, and that's unfortunate for him and his brand. The financial stakes couldn't be higher. Dixon isn't just seeking monetary damages. He's demanding $260 million, a figure that represents a significant portion of Perry's estimated net worth. If even a fraction of these allegations are proven true, it could bankrupt Perry's entertainment empire and destroy the carefully cultivated image he spent decades building. What's particularly telling is how this lawsuit has exposed the culture of fear and silence that allegedly surrounded Perry's productions. Multiple industry insiders are now coming forward with stories about Perry's controlling behavior on set, his explosive temper, and his tendency to make or break careers based on personal loyalty rather than professional merit. The impact on Perry's other projects has been immediate and devastating. Several major studios are reportedly reassessing their partnerships with Perry's production company, while streaming platforms are quietly distancing themselves from future collaborations. The man who was once considered untouchable in Hollywood is now facing the possibility that his entire empire could crumble under the weight of these allegations. For Harry and Meghan, Perry's legal troubles couldn't have come at a worse time. Just as their own financial pressures are mounting and their Hollywood connections are proving less reliable than they hoped. The most damning evidence of Harry and Meghan's true character isn't what they're saying about Tyler Perry's crisis. It's their calculated decision to say absolutely nothing at all. Royal expert Hilary Ford didn't mince words when she called their silence a total lack of moral courage. And she's absolutely right. This isn't just poor friendship. This is strategic cowardice that exposes everything wrong with their approach to loyalty and relationships. Think about the impossible position they've created for themselves through their own hypocrisy. If Tyler Perry is cleared of these allegations, their silence makes them look like disloyal friends who abandoned someone during their darkest hour. But if the allegations prove true, their silence makes them look like opportunistic users who only cared about Perry when he was useful to them. Either way, they lose. And they've created this lose-lose situation entirely through their own calculated self-interest. Did I expect Harry and Meghan to come to his defense? He provided the freedom flight. He's the godfather to Lily. Did I expect them to come to his defense? I really don't. What makes their silence even more shocking is the personal connection involved here. Tyler Perry isn't just some Hollywood acquaintance they met at a few parties. This is Lilith's godfather, the man who opened his home and his heart to them when they were at their most vulnerable. The fact that they can't even muster a basic statement of support or concern reveals a level of coldness that's genuinely disturbing. The contrast with their previous public stances is absolutely staggering. These are the same people who built their entire post-royal brand on speaking truth to power and believing victims. Meghan has given countless speeches about the importance of supporting those who are marginalized and attacked. Harry has positioned himself as a champion of mental health awareness and standing up for what's right regardless of the personal cost. But when their actual friend faces the biggest crisis of his life, suddenly all those principles evaporate into convenient silence. Where's the passionate defense of someone who showed them unconditional kindness? Where's the statement about due process and supporting people through difficult times? Where's even the most basic acknowledgement that someone they claim to care about is going through hell? Their silence becomes even more calculated when you realize they're probably waiting to see which way the legal battle goes before deciding whether to support Perry or distance themselves further. This isn't principled restraint. This is strategic positioning that treats human relationships like stock investments. They're literally waiting to see if Tyler Perry is a good bet before deciding whether their friendship is worth maintaining. The moral bankruptcy of this approach is breathtaking, and it perfectly encapsulates everything people suspected about their character from the beginning. The relationship between Tyler Perry and Meghan Markle has officially hit rock bottom, and the behind-the-scenes details reveal just how calculated and cold this breakup really was. Sources close to Perry's inner circle reveal that the final tipping point came when Meghan had the audacity to request use of his private jet again, apparently believing their relationship could continue on her terms. Despite everything that had happened, would appreciate any backup at this point. Harry and Meghan's silence looks completely self-serving, and they could be jeopardizing their relationship with the mogul going forward. Harry's flat refusal wasn't just about logistics. It was a deliberate message that he was done being used as Meghan's personal ATM and transportation service. The billionaire mogul who once opened his Beverly Hills mansion to the Sussexes during their most vulnerable period has now completely severed ties, recognizing that their relationship was never about genuine friendship but pure exploitation. And like me, who get tired of helping people and watch them dog you out. But the private jet rejection was just the final straw in a series of betrayals that had been building for months. Industry insiders revealed that Perry was absolutely furious when he discovered that intimate footage filmed inside his own home had appeared in the Sussex Netflix documentary without his explicit permission. This wasn't just a breach of privacy. It was a violation of trust that broke the final bond between them. Perry's legal team immediately swung into action, sending cease and desist letters warning Harry and Meghan that any further unauthorized use of private content would result in immediate legal consequences. The message was crystal clear. The days of using Tyler Perry's generosity without consequences were officially over. The ripple effects of Perry's withdrawal are being felt throughout Hollywood, where his departure has emboldened other celebrities and executives who had been cautiously maintaining ties with the Sussexes. Several major players have now started publicly distancing themselves, creating a domino effect that's systematically dismantling Meghan's carefully cultivated network. 1. Hollywood